And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win, the first of two, actually, comes to us from Super Coyote Jason, I believe, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Thane or Dark Phoenix? Dark Phoenix obviously being Jean Grey. Now, when we talk about Thane, I am assuming that you are basically saying that with the Phoenix Force respectively each, who would win? Because if you're asking me who's going to win against Dark Phoenix, Jean Grey with the Phoenix Force versus just base form Thane, well then Thane is going to get his teeth kicked in. Thane. So for those of you who are on it, we all know who Jean Grey is at this point. But for those of you who are not aware who Thane is actually a son of Thanos, a biological son of Thanos, who was basically the birth from an eternal. Sorry, not an eternal, an inhuman. Thane himself is, in fact, an inhuman. Now, Thane, as he stands in the comics right now, does not have any real powers. He's actually stuck in the God Quarry as it is. But he ultimately, he went on his own crusade, became a host of the Phoenix Force, went against his father, and ultimately lost. His powers were taken away from him. Before the Phoenix Force, though, he basically had all the physical enhancements that came with a combination Eternal Titan inhuman physiology, but he also had the ability to encase beings with his right hand in a weird amber construct, which trapped them within a certain radius of him and left them in a state of living death. His left hand, though, had the ability to basically have to change the very economics of existence, but he lacked control over it, so it essentially just killed everything in the radius. He also had Black Vortex empowerment. The Black Vortex when it corrupted him. But we're gonna look at him as the Phoenix Force. We're not gonna look at him with that. But the Black Vortex was was created by the Celestial Godhead after a Viscar stupid ads Viscardi named Gara expressed the cosmic being the desire of their species to explore beyond their potential. It's some sort of power source. That's all that really needs to be known. But we're looking at the Phoenix Force Thane. We're not looking at Black Vortex Thane because Black Vortex Thane still isn't as strong as Phoenix Force Thane. Um, God, these ads really get on my nerves after a while for some of these sites. Okay, there we go. But with the Phoenix Force, like any other Phoenix Force user, all of his abilities were enhanced greatly. He has only displayed cosmic teleportation, but as an avatar, he presumably possessed the following abilities as well: interstellar travel, cosmic pyrokinesis, resurrection, immortality, temporal manipulation, telepathy, and telekinesis. The Phoenix Force itself allows all these abilities, plus on its own without a host, it's nigh omnipotent. It's a nexus being, which means it exists at any one time, it exists in all states of reality at the same time. It has the ability of future life force tapping, meaning it can tap into the energy provided by the life force reserved for future generations, thus denying them existence itself. It possesses limitless cosmic energy. With or without a host, it is one of the most powerful entities in the Marvel Universe, capable of existing in any plane, timeline, or dimension. Abilities include concussive force blast, quantum singularity. It can transmigrate through time and space itself by folding its energy back into itself, causing it to collapse akin to a black hole, and reforming itself upon reaching its destination, much like the ancient Phoenix of myths. Energy absorption of all kinds, life force control. It can literally manipulate life and death itself, such as take the life energy from something, rendering it dead, or vice versa. Psionic Nexus, as we said, is a nexus being and can therefore exist throughout all realities. As the nexus of the center of all psionic energy throughout the cosmos, the host attains nigh infinitely high mental abilities, including telepathy, empathy, telekinesis, and often seeks hosts with psionic abilities. When bonded with a host, the Phoenix Force vastly strengthens and amplifies all the superhuman mutant abilities to innumerable power levels, and has been shown to be near unlimited in such as the ones as such. Sorry, and is shown to be near unlimited, such as the Phoenix One True Host, which is oftentimes stated, if I'm not mistaken. Let's be sure about that real quick. Yeah, to be Jean Grey. Like, no matter how many hosts the Phoenix Force has had, It always seems to, if it can, go back to Jean Grey because it really feels like she's the most valuable host it can have and the most compatible. It's also capable of matter transmutation, which means you just turn one thing into another thing, basically. Cosmic teleportation, disintegration waves, basically breaking down things to a near infinite amount of molecules per second. Resurrection force, it can resurrect the dead. Immortality is immortal, indestructible, and it cannot die or be destroyed. After its death in X-Men vs. Avengers, it was said to be destroyed, but as it happened many times, never truly died. It just forms itself into a cosmic egg and then comes back after a while. Cosmic pyrokinesis, cosmic flames, temporal manipulation can manipulate the past, present, and future across temporal distances, and with a profound knowledge of the causal effect on our actions will have. It may be the case that time as a concept doesn't apply to the white hot room. It's been shown when Jean Grey, as the White Phoenix of the Crown, held her universe in the palm of her hand, possessed the infinite power to write what she would as the one true Phoenix in any timeline, using to save her timeline from becoming a horrible future, altering the memories of everyone in it. Atom kinesis, capable of manipulating and creating cosmic weather, and existence mastery. It possesses total control over the entire existence. It possesses total control over the entire existence, as shown by the White Phoenix of the Crown. Can warp reality, bring anything into existence, freely manipulate all existing things, and return them to nothingness when their purpose is extinguished. Its immeasurable power and abilities appear to be the strongest and most powerful when bonded with Jean Grey, one true Phoenix, as they keep saying. And the two have a strange, profound connection with each other. There are a handful of weaknesses that the Phoenix Force does have, though. Jean Grey is one of the few weaknesses the Phoenix Force has. It's been shown to mentally and physically be incapable of harming Jean Grey, and Jean has even been able to have full control over the Phoenix Force and the White Hot Room without being the host, and has been able to completely or forcibly rip the Phoenix out of Emma Frost against the Phoenix's will. But seeing as we're using Dark Phoenix here, that means we're using a Phoenix gone bad in Jean Grey, so that doesn't matter here. However, vulnerability of hosts. While the Phoenix Force gives the host incredible strength and durability, neither is infinite. A long battle could potentially exhaust a host and leave the host vulnerable. Chaos magic is a weakness, but that would not matter here. Iron Fist. The dragon Shallow was able to hurt Cyclops when possessed by the Phoenix. It was claimed that the Watcher that the dragon once beat the Phoenix, but there's no evidence to show that. And Iron Fist, but that won't matter here. And Storms, emotional vulnerability. Jane Foster speculates that the Phoenix is afraid of the god Tempest inside Mjolnir, although the Phoenix denied this. It turns out that the Phoenix does have a weakness to storms, but an emotional one. Fire here was a Phoenix host from 1 million BC and fell in love with Odin. Odin tried to forcibly marry her and she left him. For the sake of Earth, she plotted with Gaia to conceive a child with Odin. Thor, however, right after Gaia gave birth to Thor, was killed by Laufey, blah, blah, blah. So really, while there are weaknesses, they aren't many, and really we are comparing basically two Phoenix hosts together. And when you basically break it down like that, it's simply this. Jean Grey, Dark Phoenix, White Phoenix, whatever you want to call her, is described as the strongest host of the Phoenix Force. Thane, even with the Phoenix Force, is not the strongest. In fact, he hasn't demonstrated anywhere near the level of powers that Jean Grey had. Now, all of his abilities would be amplified, including his Death Touch, but given the fact that the Phoenix Force has the whole Immortality Guard thing up, that's kind of irrelevant. It is debatable whether the amber encasement that will trap you in a living death would have an effect on it being like the Phoenix, but I don't know if that was ever illustrated in the comics. I would probably guess no. Furthermore, even though he is a host of the Phoenix, all the abilities of a Phoenix host are only just implied with him, whereas they are proven with Jean. So the telepathy, telekinesis, temporal manipulation, immortality, resurrection, cosmic pyrokinesis, interstellar travel, that's mostly all just implied. Plus, Jean was already a Omega level mutant without the Phoenix Force. She is a seriously powerful telekinetic and telepath. And you amplify that beyond normal capacity, she's already got a one-up edge on him. Whereas he kind of gains these abilities with the Phoenix Force. So Phoenix Force to Phoenix Force, these two might clash for a bit, but Jean would probably be the one who comes out on top, particularly if it's Dark Phoenix we're dealing with, which we are, who is overall just not stable. Um, she is basically the worst case scenario for a Phoenix Force host. So yeah, it'd be Dark Phoenix who wins the fight. Thane's a cool character, and I do like the fact, even though he just looks like a thinner Thanos, I do like the more slender built design Thanos look he has. But yeah, no, it would be Jean Grey, it'd be Dark Phoenix here. This though is just my opinion. What do you think in the comments below? Do you think there is a way Thane could even win? Like for instance, would his right hand or excuse me, left hand being an instant kill allow him to just instantly kill the host? I don't think it would because the Phoenix should counteract his abilities, but that in theory could be a win. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think. But until then, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you for the next one.